Saints School, and welcome to another Wellbeing Wednesday. Hopefully you've worked out our value for life this half term is patience. And today our Wellbeing Assembly is focusing on why it's important to be patient with ourselves as well as others. You may have noticed my bowl of fruit has appeared again. For a different reason this time. I'm not going to call you all fruits, but I am going to talk about the fruits of the Spirit, which are on the screen at the moment. Perhaps you can read them together as a class. The Bible tells us that when Jesus is our friend, we should see all of these fruits growing in our lives. I wonder which fruits you are particularly good at showing. Maybe gentleness, kindness. I wonder if there's any fruits of the Spirit that you find more tricky. Perhaps patience, our current value. Perhaps some of you find patience really easy. Perhaps you're patient waiting for Christmas to come around. Perhaps you've been patient waiting for mummy to give you the baby brother or the baby sister. Perhaps you can pause the video now and talk about times when you have had to be patient. You may have heard people say to you lots of times before, just be patient. But what does the word patient or patience mean? Patience is the ability to accept delays, difficulties and problems with tolerance and without anger or resentment. So that means we might all have to be patient in waiting for Christmas to arrive. But we shouldn't get angry and say, I want it to happen now. Patience. I wonder why having patience is so tricky. I think it's because we live in a world where we want everything right now. We have places like McDonald's where we can get food really fast, even 24 hours a day. But sometimes this makes it really hard to wait and to be patient because we're used to getting things exactly when we want them. I wonder what you're waiting for. I wonder if, like the picture, you just can't wait till you are able to drive a car and go wherever you want. November is Parliament Week, and you can find more about that if you'd like to. But I wonder if politics and Parliament and the government and all things to do with that excites you. Maybe you're looking forward to being old enough to be able to vote. This week is also an important vote in the USA. I wonder if you know anything about that. Perhaps you can have a conversation now by pausing the video. I don't want you to answer this question out loud, but I want you to think in your mind, how good are you at waiting? Are you really good at saving up your money to wait until you've got enough to get something? Or do you borrow from mum, dad, your brother and sister so you can have that toy or magazine right now? Time to think again. How patient are you with other people? Not just your friends, not just your family, but people who might test your patience, people that might make you a little bit angry sometimes. How patient are you really? How patient are you with yourself? Sometimes we can be patient with everybody else, but we're not very patient with ourselves. There's a picture of a little boy learning to play the guitar on the screen. When you try something challenging or new, perhaps playing the guitar, do you give yourself time and patience, or do you just give up and say, oh, I'm rubbish, I'll never be any good at this? Do you know who this man is? Do you know what he did? Look closely at the photograph. It should give you a clue. This is Thomas Edison, and he once talked about his success. He said that genius was 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. You might want to talk about what that means in your class. Patience and perseverance are the key. Fact, for Thomas Edison, patience and perseverance helped him invent an amazing thing. What did he invent? Say it out loud together. He failed lots of times, but he didn't give up. He persevered and he was patient with himself and probably with other people too. So my message for each of you today, and for all the teachers and adults too, is Be patient with others, but be patient with yourself too. Our value for life is patience, as I've already said. And on the screen now, you can see our special Bible verse that we're going to try and learn over this half term. Perhaps you can read it out loud with your classmates. Are you ready? Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. We all know that due to COVID-19, we are trying to remember hands, face, space. But somebody added an extra one to that, and that was the word grace. Jesus tells us to love our neighbour, and sometimes showing them grace means showing them patience and being kind, even though times are a little bit tough and things are a little bit different at the moment. There's a prayer on our screen, and if you want to make this your own prayer, you can say Amen at the end. Dear God, we thank you for another day filled with opportunities to learn and to grow in the fruits of the Spirit. As we learn this half term about patience, we ask that you would help us to grow in patience. Help us to be patient with ourselves and each other too. Help us to always be kind in our waiting. Help us to trust you always. Amen. I know lots of you like a challenge, so here are some patience challenges that you might like to try at home or at school. Particularly the first one. I'd be interested how long you can sit patiently and wait and reflect on the words that you've heard today. Perhaps you'll practice being patient by playing a board game. Next week, our Wellbeing Wednesday assembly is going to be our Poppy Day, and we will have a special collective worship together. Also, I need to tell you that on the 13th of November is Children in Need Day, and we will be dressing up as superheroes. Mrs. Macro will be giving us more information about that really soon. But how exciting! There's lots of things to look forward to at All Saints, but we've got to be patient. Remember, be patient with each other, with yourself, and be kind always. Thanks for listening, and have a great day, everybody.